talk about the digital transition, and it's not a transition, right? It's a transformation, right? And if you think about it, Dell Computer, they initially, they built, they had an inventory problem, right? They built computers online. And what happened was, they said, computers came in and we could either build a better inventory system, or we could get rid of inventory completely. And they used the computer to do just-in-time manufacturing. That's the kind of transformation that has to happen. Don't make a better inventory system, get rid of inventory. That's the nature of the transformation, right? And if you think of what Apple did with the music, right? It wasn't that they got rid of CDs, right? They got rid of CDs. So that's the level of transformation. So the next question that really is the issue, and this is Cathleen.
Okay, so if everyone, if we've got this one-to-one, Lenny's got it in high school, but we're seeing it all the way down. If everyone's got one-to-one, what are we going to do with all this technology in the classroom? Because that's the problem that we're seeing when we go to visit the schools that Tina and Elizabeth are supporting. What are we going to do? And look at this. Are they going to come into your classroom next week? These are what the people are doing outside of school? So, we're going to give them pencil and paper? Really?
Well, we do. We do give them pencil and paper. That's the point. We do.
That's right. But it's time for a change. We've got to do something different now. We've got to stop giving them just pencil and paper and use the technology that they already have. It's not like, and Lenny said it, it used to be, the Holy Grail used to be one-to-one. We're there. Not only is it one-to-one, but in many cases, it's one-to-many. Those children, they're not in school yet, but they've got technology and they are learning how to use it. They're learning how to learn from it.
So in fact, it is the new normal, one-to-one, press it. And in fact, the cost is the cost of a pair of sneakers. That's what a computer costs. And the average age now of a smartphone owner is 10.3 years, 5th grade. They don't call them smartphones, right? They call them phones. We old folks call them smartphones. They call them phones. So it's a completely different mentality, right?
So, this activity, you can talk about this.
This is the most popular activity of computers in the United States in classrooms.
How many of you know what that is?
Kahoot. Okay.
Oh, see, everybody does. Everybody knows what Kahoot is.
Now I want you to look at this picture carefully. They're sitting in rows. They're staring at the front, in some sense, right? Right. Okay. And they're getting ready for a question. How many? The school day is 8 hours. How many hours a day can you play Kahoot? Right. I mean,
wait a minute, I want to hear the answer.
9.
There you go.
But now watch the next picture. Well, the question is, what do you do with the computers, right?
Okay.
Well, watch the next picture. Look at this picture.
All right, this one's even worse because they're not even playing Kahoot. This is the Carpe Diem school. There's one in Tucson. There's one in some other places. It was a franchise. What they have is 257 children, and they have 4 teachers. Because the teachers are only used for remediation. This is totally, quote, personalized learning. Now, what we know is it's very much like CAI. I mean, it's computer-based instruction. They watch the videos, they read the screen, they've got their headset, and then they take the test. And they do that anywhere from 1/2 to 2/3 of the day, depending on their age. Once they get to 7th grade, they don't even have to come in and sit in the cubicles. They can do it from home. But they come to school. Those 4 teachers are there for remediation. So if you want to talk to a teacher, then you got to fall behind. Because as long as you're keeping up, then you're on your own.
And the issue is reducing cost. They reduce cost from $8,300 a kid to $5,300 a kid. Right? The whole cost of education is the teachers. So if you can get by with fewer teachers, you're going to reduce costs. When we were growing up, the term was teacher-proofing the curriculum. So now...
So, I just said it. To me, this is not personalized learning. This is nothing more than personalized instruction. Because all they're doing is each child is getting instruction from a computer.
If you talk to the folks, Newton and Greenbox, okay.
Keep going.
then
You
they,
want to talk about the community?
No, no.
Okay.
Keep going.
That was on slide 27.
There is this need for digital curriculum. The Center for Digital Education did a survey, and you can see the numbers. I mean, 90% of the schools are doing it, except, but they're not doing it well. You heard from Lenny, they're doing it, but they're doing it systematically. This is just focusing on digital curriculum. It's not the way to do it, but that's what's happening. But there's certainly a need to move. So, next one. Where does the curriculum come from? Where does digital come from? Lenny pushed the folks to give him digital, but you did that. But in general, where does it come from? Okay. It's a colossal headache for teachers.
Right. OER. A lot of schools are going to OER because it's free. And there's millions, literally millions of objects out there, of open education resources that are digital objects. The problem with digital objects is that they are not digital curriculum. They're only objects. And so who's going to aggregate all of those objects into something meaningful? Who's going to figure out a scope and sequence? Or are we just going to use an object when I need it? In which case, those one-to-one laptops or Chromebooks or whatever are going to be used for supplemental activities. Are we really going to use them, or are we just going to do supplemental stuff? And there's all the figures. 67% of the teachers spend forever, 2 to 6 hours, trying to find those pieces and put them together in some meaningful way. That is not a good use of a teacher's time. Any other?
So, again, going from OER objects to OER courses, the Minnesota Partnership for Collaborative Curriculum has created a whole bunch of courses. And they're free, and they're not using existing OER materials. They're starting from scratch, and they're writing textbooks, online textbooks. There's a company called Open Up. They've raised $10 million, and they've used part of that money to give it to, next one, Illustrative Mathematics, who have generated a mathematics curriculum for grades 6, 7, and 8. And it is absolutely the best. People are saying it's the best. But what it is, next one, it's paper. The kids read the math curriculum on the computer, but they do the work on paper. Yeah.
I mean, is that ridiculous? What they're doing, it is not a digital curriculum. Even though they're saying it's a digital curriculum, it's not. It is a digitized curriculum. They take all those paper materials.
Yes!
Yes, they take all paper materials and they digitize them. Now, if you want the digitized paper, then it's free. But if you want the paper version, then you have to pay for it.
And their business model is selling paper, because they print a lot of it so they can get it cheap. Right? Think about that for just a second, right?
And this is the new. This is the new, going from OER objects, putting all this stuff together, creating curriculum, and it's paper.
And it's good though, it's good paper.
Great.
So, we have an alternative where we've been...
OER objects.
That's weird. I'm sorry, that's weird.
That's technology.
The next generation of OER must be
That's you.
I don't know, man. There's some funding from the George Lucas Foundation. George is about this high off the ground. And he's... I'm taller than he is, in fact. And not much. And he didn't go to school, high school, because he was much too weird. But he's giving a lot of money to education, which is really good, because he believes in project-based learning. And we're doing NGSS, Next Generation Science Standards, but we're delivering it on
Paper.
paper.
Now, can you imagine, the first time I heard that, Next Generation Science Standards on paper? That's what we're doing, is training scientists to work on paper with paper?
It's a little weird, but we still are doing the technology component of it, because there are some classrooms that are using technology. Not all the classrooms, because they're, it's challenging for some classrooms, etc. And so what we have is, no, you gotta go back, is this notion of a roadmap, where it's a concept map, but you click on a node, opens up, do the work, close the node, go back, keep going. And it's the notion that it's deeply digital, highly interactive. That most of the nodes, in fact, are things to do, constructive activities, as opposed to read, watch, etc., etc. And so it's trying to get at a digital representation for a digital curriculum, to be able to change something. Lenny was asking about recommending. One could have a system, because you have the learning analytics here. We know how long and what these kids are doing. So if someone's having trouble, taking it a little longer, we could find an OER that would supplement, that would make an addition. We can do all that, because it's digital, right? And all the learning analytics are hiding behind that. So the next thing is, how do you transfer it? This one's going to be a good one. Watch with these numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, the kids are using their mobile devices outside the classroom to learn. Not just to play, not listen to Spotify, but they're going to looking at careers, they're looking for curiosity. They are using it outside the classroom. Teachers, they're not using it. Now watch these numbers. Watch this.
Okay, so the teacher said 33% feel that students' enhanced abilities to understand difficult concepts, apply knowledge to practical problems, develop workplace skills, or take ownership of learning is due to using classroom technology.
33%.
What are the other 66 then?
They don't believe it.
33, and these are like the Speak Up Day, which is that
Humongous population.
a huge M for their surveys. And teachers over 40, 36% think that technology is mostly helpful in education. At this point in time, it's mostly helpful. Computers, really?
We're not making these numbers up. This is what is going on.
Yeah,
It's not in Lenny's district, right? This is not in Lenny's district.
No, did you do the Speak Up Day survey, Lenny? Did your district do the Speak Up Day?
No, we did it at our high school, but we just got laid into it. I mean, we're gonna do it next year.
Okay,
I was
that's
gonna
good.
say, because you're gonna skew these numbers.
Oh, you're changing it.
Well, I mean, we probably have some teachers that have that mentality, right? Of,
In your high schools?
Mhm. Yeah, but we also have the mentality of grow or go. So they won't have it very long, or they won't be working for HIC.
That's good. Grow or go.
I like
Okay.
that, I like that, I'll remember that, grow or go. Okay.
So let's wind up the path to digital transformation. You've got to transform the curriculum into deeply digital, highly interactive, and you've got to transform the teachers. It's not that, we're not blaming teachers, for heaven's sakes. No. But how they're coming and what they're seeing is not what the kids are seeing at all.
No, and honestly, not